Right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Bakar Send double honor to the apostle, elders, and bishops. Great millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to y'all came out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth. Sure, I can hear myself. Bishops. Okay. This lesson is going to be called Another Path to the Motb, Automated Logistics. Path to the Motb, Automated Logistics. Now, Elder Mike Olive from here in the Dallas camp posted this video, real quick video. Highly suggest you go watch it. It's called Trucking is Slowing Down. And within our group chat, he works in that industry, or, and basically he was just kind of laying out how, these truckers are seeing massive cuts in their supply. They're not being able to fulfill their loads. They're not making as much money. It's causing for layoffs and potential future panic in the market because of just lack of supplies that can be coming. Something similar to what happened during the time of COVID. Whenever all the ports were shut down, it'll be a short-term supply shock that sends prices up just because there's demand is still the same, but there's no supply out there, and we talk about famines and we always mention you don't have to have, a flood or wildfire or some type of disease or locusts come and eat up everything for there to be a famine. It could just be that the food and the product can't get to you, point blank, period. And these are some of the things that the Most High has prescribed in the scripture. When you read Matthew, the 24th chapter, in the 6th verse, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right now we have several conflicts that have been going on. Russia, Ukraine, the Palestinians versus the small hats, even Hezbollah. You have the Houthi rebels that are attacking and making attacks on Israel. You have just popping off the East Indians attacking the so-called terrorist groups within Pakistan, which that has been going on for some time. You got rumors of a potential issue between China and Taiwan. Okay. And you have the issues that are going over in Congo, Uganda, Ethiopia. Okay. So there's these wars and rumors of wars and skirmishes happening globally. And this is all prophecy that people were going to be at odds against one another. All right. Further in verse 6, it says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So these are all things that are brewing. Right. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're starting to see this just by tantamount numbers. All right. It says, all these are the beginnings of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And we're starting to see all of these things, more and more propaganda and hate towards the Hebrew Israelites is popping up. They're sending out more and more agents and spies to infiltrate camps and cause trouble. You see the IUIC, this is basically Israelite mob. They handle things just like the police force and the mob do, beating people up. All things. So that's all they're going to stain the name of people who are coming in the name of Yahweh Shem Shah. Right? All these things must happen, man. Okay? But one of the things that's happening is the supply shock. And it's all chaos to justify what they want to do, which is basically institute automated systems where AI is in control over everything for the sake of saying they're saving money and this and that. All right. All of these things are in the process of prophecy and what the Heavenly Father has installed. Now, the Elder Mike already read the scripture. I'm gonna read it too. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Okay, so now's the time to get close to Yahweh Shemel Shah, right? While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, when the strong men shall bow themselves, right? And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, right? So there's going to be a time where everything comes to an absolute screeching halt. We're getting vibrations of that, man. All right. When the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Now, we live in a different time now where it's very easy to go live. It's very easy to announce to the world on X, on YouTube, TikTok, and for these truckers to just jump on live and say, hey, man, ain't nobody here. Ain't no food. It's easy for things. It's way easier for there to be a global viral moment that will cause absolute chaos. And you best believe they utilize these things, okay? They use these things to sow discord, to put out in the minds of the people a certain energy that they want to use.
Today's stronger than expected jobs report, some industries are starting to feel the belt tightening because of President Trump's tariffs, with hard-hit truckers.
No, listen to what she said.
Despite the stronger than expected jobs report.
Said, despite the stronger than expected jobs report, see how she just skimmed over the fact that more jobs are being created in America. Why? Because of the tariffs, and they're bringing jobs to America. But let's skip over that. This is what I want you to be afraid of.
Some industries are starting to feel the belt tightening because of President Trump's tariffs, with hard-hit truckers taking another blow. Layoffs are beginning in the trucking industry as American ports are seeing a big drop in cargo ship arrivals, meaning less to haul across our country. News Nation's Nancy Liu is live for us in Southern California, speaking to those affected. So, Nancy, what are they telling you?
Well, Nicole, we're hearing words like bad and dire and even crisis. We're standing next to a bunch of truck chassis because they're parked and they're not in use. And look on the other side there. They're stacked up. And in this truck yard alone, there are about 100 chassis stacked up because they don't need them. They're typically out on the roadways. Like everyone else along America's massive supply chain, truckers expect things to go from bad to worse.
This yard costs us money, this equipment costs us money, our chassis costs us money, our employees cost us money, electricity costs us money, right? So after,
remember what he just said.
This yard costs us money, this equipment costs us money, our chassis costs us money, our employees cost us money, electricity costs us money, right? So after 6 months, I would say we would be in pretty dire situations. And that's just us. And there's hundreds of companies like us who would probably be most likely be in the same situation, if not worse.
Now, so when you have this happen in small tier and medium and small tier companies that don't have, billions of dollars, or going to start to take L's because they're not moving product, right? And this is just washing the small guys out of the market because they want to go to something bigger. They want to go to something completely digital. All right. All of this stuff is just to get ready for a full-scale digital smart city system where all of the people will just be battery packs. Right now, brothers and sisters into the chat, shit hit the fan at shtfplan.com. Supply chain expert is going to be an extinct level event, asteroid wiping out the dinosaurs kind of event. Now, I tell you, brothers, on these, it's all clickbait. All right, 95% of the stuff that we read is hyperbole, but they do have good information that they bring out. Now, apparently, a person named Michael Snyder wrote this It says this article was originally published Michael Snyder at the Economic Collapse blog. Are you ready for store shelves to start emptying all over America? When I first started writing about the coming shortages last month, I received quite a bit of criticism. But now, expert after expert is warning that we are facing a crisis of historic proportions. Most major retailers still have several weeks of inventory on hand. But after that, shortages are going to start becoming very visible. For smaller businesses, the shortages will be noticeable a lot sooner, right? On Sunday, I visited a local small business to purchase some groceries. In addition to selling groceries, this particular discount store also sells a wide variety of other products, and some of them are made in China. As I walked through the aisles, I was stunned by how low their stock levels were. Honestly, it was kind of depressing. Of course, anything that we are witnessing right now is just the leading edge of what is eventually coming. According to CNN, it is estimated that Chinese imports to the United States will plunge by as much as 80% by the second half of the year. The historically high tariffs on China has effectively stopped all trade between the two countries. Trump has said repeatedly the number of cargo ships headed from China to the United States fell 60% in April, according to Flexport, a logistics and freight forwarding broker. JP Morgan estimates Chinese imports to the United States will plunge by as much as 80% by the second half of the year. So what is this going to do? This is going to cause major losses for China and the United States, for retail sellers that buy from China and for manufacturers that are in China. What's going to have to happen is a pivot by these retail stores. A lot of them are going to go out of business, and some of them, a lot of them that are over leveraged with debt are going to go out of business, or they rent too high, or they already was kind of in the red. They just going to go out of business. Okay, the bigger dogs are going to have to find other people to buy from, so they can supply it. What's they going to do? There's going to be a time period where you're not going to have nothing on the shelves. And people, what are they going to do? They're going to panic. Everybody going to be going live. Everybody going to be complaining. Everybody going to be asking for a solution. This ain't going to do nothing but prop up an incentive for the, economy in general and the governments of the economy of these economies to move forward with their MOTB plans. It just is what it is. All right. And so as they come with those solutions to say, oh, we got to find a way. We're losing all this money. We don't have anybody to work at these places. We don't have anybody that wants to work these trucks. We need to find a more efficient way to do all these things. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to just move it to AI, automated trucks, automated ports where there ain't no employees there. Right. So I typed this into Gronk. I said, why is the world trending into automated logistics like ports and trucking? That's what logistics is. It says, I'm just going to read the bullet points real quick. It says, the world is trending towards automated logistics in ports and trucking due to several key drivers. Cost efficiency. Automation reduces labor costs, which are a significant expense in logistics. Automated systems like robotic cranes in ports or self-driving trucks operate continuously without breaks, lowering operational costs over time. Labor shortages. Many regions face shortages of skilled workers, such as truck drivers or port operators. For example, the U.S. trucking industry has reported a driver shortage of over 80,000 in recent years. Automation fills the gap by reducing reliance on human labor. Technological advances, innovations in AI, robotics, and IoT have made automation more reliable and cost-effective. Self-driving trucks use advanced sensors and machine learning to navigate roads, while automated port systems like those in Rotterdam or Singapore use AI. Now, before we had this truck thing, the truck thing is always in the backdrop, but do you remember they had that big port strike right before Trump got in office? We want our money. We finna have a big old port strike. Well, you ain't gonna be no strike if it's an AI doing it. If it's an AI crane operating technology, and they already doing this stuff over in the East, in China and in India. They're just going to take those models and bring them over here. It don't take that long to say it. Everybody, it'll take too long. No, it won't. No, it won't. It won't take that long. You can get this stuff up fast. I always make the point. How fast did they get those QR codes set up in all the major cities and all the major retail stores? You went from having handheld menus to a mask and scan your phone. That shit, it happened overnight, man. It happened overnight. Okay? It don't take that long for them to switch this stuff over. They're already getting it ready. Okay? So you as these people cry and complain and wail, they're going to be begging for that solution. You best believe. This 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 22, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. All right, so you walk into what's a sown place? It's a market, not just a field. When you go into Walmart, that's a sown place. It is going to appear unsown. Right? And the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies. Because you take a sandwich from a man, he gets real aggressive. Best believe that. Best. You know how you're on a fast? You don't take no BS when you're on a fast. Your temper, you don't tolerate a lot of bullshit when you're on a fast. Well, these people are going to have to fast from entertainment, food, water, all types of delicacies. They're going to be off of their meds because it didn't travel from China. A lot of this stuff travels from India, China, these medications. People are going to be ready to fight one another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still. And in 3 hours they shall not run. All right. So people are going to be upset. Right? People are going to be fighting one another. People are going to be looking for solutions. And what's going to be the solutions? This type of stuff right here. They're ready to do this.
After years of trial runs and setbacks, Aurora says its first fully autonomous semi-truck has hit public highways in the Lone Star State. The self-driving semi is making deliveries between Dallas and Houston and has completed roughly 12,000 miles so far. The Aurora CEO says he tagged along in the back seat for the truck's maiden ride. He called the experience the honor of a lifetime, adding in a statement, "We founded Aurora to deliver benefits of self-driving technology quickly and broadly. Now we are the first company to successfully and safely operate a commercial driverless trucking service on public roads." The truck features sensors capable of tracking the length of 4 football fields and employs a high-tech computer system. The company says it's currently operating a single autonomous truck for deliveries, but plans to add more later this year. Aurora believes its new technology will be a solution to a current shortage of truckers and high turnover rates, as well as rising costs of operation. The company says it could also reduce labor costs and improve safety on highways. After 4 years of supervised testing, the company delivered more than 10,000 loads to customers across roughly 3 million miles with its autonomous vehicles. The breakthrough.
See, they ready to roll this out, man. They do. It's got a lot. We have to build out the infrastructure. A lot of this stuff is already ready to roll out. They just need the people to absorb it. So a lot of these small time trucking companies, once they get wiped out, once they lose all this money, and they have to file for bankruptcy and move into a different industry or whatever. A lot of these guys are going to get absorbed by bigger companies. You're going to have bigger companies come up and buy them at pennies on a dollar. They're going to get absorbed into like an Aurora, and then they're just going to automate the fleet and fire everybody. They're going to automate the fleet, fire everybody, and move forward, man. And that'll be the new norm. And it'll seem like it happened overnight.
Comes amid setbacks implementing driverless trucks on the open road. They were once thought to be introduced before robo-taxis and autonomous private vehicles, given the open nature of highways as opposed to city and residential streets. Aurora anticipated rolling out.
Now, I'm out here in Austin. I see these automated vehicles driving around all the time. All right, we're in downtown in Dallas. They have the little boxes. Here they have it in Austin. where Uber just drop your food off. It's just some automated robot come and drop it off. Right? You know, I guess you have to scan it or whatever to open. But they have these driverless cars rolling around all downtown. You know, same thing over there in San Francisco and West Coast. All right, it's just gonna. I remember, we all remember when laptops first came out and cell phones. And it's just like overnight, man.
Its new autonomous trucks last year, but delayed the deployment this year, citing a need to update its self-driving system for surface street driving and construction sites. The industry has faced obstacles in terms of technology setbacks and regulations. Public opinion polls show nearly 70% of Americans are afraid of self-driving cars in the wake of some high-profile incidents.
See, and just like people were afraid of having chips in their car, people slowly just accept it. All right. Once the convenience of it goes, and I see a brother put universal basic income, you know, that's a part of automating everything, is that you're going to have to subsidize people's incomes because of lack of work. All right. They're going to say, oh, we're saving so much money in these industries. We have this extra basket of millions of dollars that we'll be able to just distribute to the citizens. Universal basic income, you know. Or the government will create some type of universal basic income tax to the revenues of automated corporations. And it'll go into some government bucket that will be distributed to everybody, so to speak. Right? But this is a part of getting there. So you need these scares, you know, supply shock. There's a supply shock. You ain't gonna have no food. You ain't gonna have no food, man. We gonna die. Okay? So it's gonna get there, and people are gonna create the panic, right? Right? End time headline: global shipping is grinding to a standstill. Current indicators suggest that while there are no imminent shortages of goods in the United States stores, the ongoing deterioration in global shipping may soon lead to such shortages, and this can happen fairly quickly. We saw how quickly COVID was able to shut stuff down when they closed those ports down. Things got scarce fast. Okay, because this is a high level consumer nation. Fat, greedy motherfuckers live in America, so stuff got to be moving. Okay, stuff got to be moving. Cargo volumes at major U.S. ports, I'm reading right here, including those in Los Angeles, Long Beach, California, and New York, New Jersey, have either declined or are projected to decline significantly, primarily due to reduced shipments from China, the leading exporter to the United States. All right. So we're going to see if that actually manifests itself, or if a lot of these buyers just shift and find their supply somewhere else. How quickly, or or how slowly the transition happens, we don't know. We just know that the prophecies say that there was going to be famines, there was going to be tumults amongst the people, and there was going to be problems. All right. So we watch for those things. We watch for those things. All right. These are the things that we watch for. 2 Ezra 15:14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And men shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. These things are going to manifest themselves piece by piece by piece by piece. Okay? We're going to see it. But we understand, when we read these headlines that come onto these alt sites, they actually help the New World Order. They actually help the elite. The elite use this chaos to produce their plans in a weird way. Okay? They help push forward this agenda to automate and digitize everything. Okay? Because there ain't no trust amongst these people. So we're going to see this stuff manifest even more quickly. They already have all this stuff ready to roll out big time. We are right at the edge. We're right there at the edge, man. So with that, man, I just wanted to do a quick Motb update. Path to the Motb update, man. Lord willing, that was edifying, man. With that being said, I'm going to say, call hello, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all came out there pushing the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, sincerely and true. Shalom.